Reviews not to the stick. Woo! Welcome to Film Reviews with the Chair, the newly named Film Reviews with the Chair. It's wicked to be here. It's really good to be here. Here's a customary greetings for you, my friends, but with a non-customary beverage. Oh, that's a 2013 Ribena, I think. That's because the Chair thought he was having a heart attack last Sunday night, and he's off the booze. He's off the booze just for a little while until it gets checked out, until we got the all clear. So it's a sober one. I hope it's not boring. I don't think it will be. And in your face if it is. Not really, not really. Right, let's go right into it. Let's go. Oh yeah, I nearly wasn't going to do it because it's not the same with the wine, but it can be, and it probably is. So, and anyway, I wanted to do it because I've been off ill and I've watched a whole lot of films. So I've got loads of good ones to tell you about. So, without further ado, the first film I'm going to talk about, I'm really glad I can, is not The Hours, it's called Hours. Just Hours, there's no the. And it stars Paul Walker. It's directed by a guy named Eric Herzler, and he has been doing crappy horror remakes, it seems, for most of his career. But now he's directed Hours with Paul Walker, the late Paul Walker, the Fast and Furious actor who died in a car crash. Ironically, it died in a car crash just this year, was it? I think it was this year. But he had starred in this film Hours before. And I'm really glad I've got a chance to talk about him, because when I talked about Fast and Furious 7, I didn't talk about the kind of eulogy that they do to Paul Walker, which was quite moving, but yeah, kind of over the top, same as everything in that film, really. But it was moving, and I hadn't mentioned it. So I now get a chance to talk about Paul Walker, and I get a chance to talk about him in a better light. This stars him. This is really his vehicle. And it's about a man who, in the middle of Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, his wife gives birth to their child, and something bad happens to her, and something bad happens to everyone in the hospital because Hurricane Katrina is bad, and that happens. And the hospital kind of gets closed down, and this is the first opening stuff, and leaves him in charge of his baby. They just fuck off and leave him with his baby. And he is determined. There's no power. The power starts going off. Oh, that's it. This baby is born prematurely and is on a ventilation machine, which needs power. And it is a film about him trying to keep the generator going, really. Well, that sounds exciting, doesn't it? But it is exciting. It is exciting. And one of the reasons it's exciting is because of Paul Walker. This is his best performance by a long shot, but I do like the guy anyway. He's an incredibly good-looking man. You know, doesn't look like he needed to have much talent, really, just to be window dressing in films like Into the Blue, which I do love with Jessica Alba, and Fast and Furious. But in this film, he's just a guy on his own, trying to keep this baby machine going, pouring his heart out to the baby. He's on a timer all the time because he needs to pump this battery all the time. So everything he goes to try and do, he has to run back to get to the baby. And there you have your tension in Bill. He's trying to find any way to stay awake. He's got to stay awake for hours and hours, hence the hours. He's got to stay awake for hours and hours doing this chore. And also there are some types that come into the hospital. If you saw the news at the time, there were looters and things in New Orleans at the time. And he has to defend his baby, really, keep his baby alive, and it's exciting. And I compared it to a film like Buried with Ryan Reynolds, which is good, a lot more tense because the situation is a lot tenser, sorry. But I was thinking about I Am Legend, which I bought a long time ago, and that's Will Smith on his own. And this is a much better performance than that. Far less smug, far less assured, far more real, far more a man who is fucking at his wit's end, trying to do this more of an everyman. And I liked it, and I liked his performance. He shows a whole lot of range, and I believed it, and I enjoyed the story. And it's a throne for hours. It's a throne for hours. God rest his soul. He carries the film, and he carries it well. So that's ours. That's a throne for hours. There's more good news coming. I'm sorry, they're all good this week. They're all good. There's nothing. There's not going to be a lot of shouting or hitting DVDs. But let's carry on. The Skeleton Twins, directed by a man called Craig Johnson. It sounds like Lister, doesn't it? But it's not Craig Charles. No, Craig Johnson. And this stars Kristen Wiig and Bill Hader as a pair of weird, morbid twins. Who are really depressed, basically. Their dad killed himself. And at the beginning of the film, Bill Hader tries to kill himself as well. He's a gay man. She's a married woman who is married to... he's married to Luke Wilson, who is just lovely in this film. I really like Luke Wilson a lot. He's an adorable Labrador in this film, she calls him. But he's just a funny, nice guy. But anyway, the main two are Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig. They're depressed, He tries to kill himself. She comes in and says, why don't you stay with me? And he does. And it's about them trying to... And they are kind of a depressive pair. And it's about them trying to come to terms with their lives. It's a drama. It's simple as that. But it's a drama with these two people in it. Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig, who are Saturday Night Live alumni. So very used to doing lots of comedy things together. And it really shines through. Last week, I think I talked about Thanks for Sharing, not Thanks for Watching. And I talked about the jarring aspects of the comedy and the drama not working very well. This, it works really well in. And it's probably because the two of them are so used to each other's company. When they start to sparkle in a scene together, it's bloody infectious and it's really entertaining. There's a lot of drama, there's a lot of heft, but when the comedy comes, it feels very real, these relationships between these people. Nothing forced at all. Again, probably because of historical chemistry. But it's fantastic when they're together doing their thing. I like, Luke Wilson a lot, as I said. I love Kristen Wiig. I think she's absolutely fantastic. I'd never seen Bill Hader in anything I'd really liked him in before, but in this, after a few opening things where the characters aren't that nice themselves, that's the thing, but then again, that's like normal people, isn't it? Like yours truly. And yeah, that's it really. The scenes when they're together sparkle. They're trying to sort out their lives. They both keep effing up all the time, doing bad things. And it's a comedy, it's a drama laced with some comedy. There's a scene where they sing Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now by Starship, which is just brilliant. It's really funny. Really, really a joy. Just all the actions that they're doing. It's good. I liked it. It's got some nice complexities. I can't think what I was going to give it. I think a throne. But borderline two. But a really good fun film. The Skeleton Twins. Right. Now, venturing on, sorry. Need some wine. Now, get your goddamn boots on for The Homesman. The Homesman, a Western film directed by Tommy Lee Jones, who had directed this film before. Have you seen that? It's The Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada. The Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada, which is another Western, but a modern day Western, which I liked a lot. Obviously, I bought it. It's a good one. And I think this is the first film he's directed since then. Now, Tommy Lee Jones, you all know from the Fugitive. He's a gruff man. And in this, he plays a really, really gruff, git old Western who Hilary Swank finds at the beginning on a horse with a noose around his neck. So it's suggested that he's a bit of a bad un, but he's a bad un in that Western way, in that realistic Western way, where he's just essentially a bit no good and probably doesn't deserve to be hanged, but there he is. And she finds him, Hilary Swank does, and she is transporting three mad women who've done some appalling things Yeah, they've done some appalling things, and she's transporting them back east from Nebraska, the harsh lands of Nebraska. I've watched some Western documentaries, and Nebraska was a real shit place to live. Really hard to farm, bloody cold in the winter, barren, freezing, flat, not a great place to be. And it's rendered here in brilliant wide shots. She basically tells Tommy Lee Jones, "I'll cut you down if you help me take these women back across to the east. 3 crazy women for 5 weeks, a lot more than I bargained for," as he says. And yeah, so they go on this journey, and I liked it a lot. Again, another one I liked. As I say, beautiful wide shots of Nebraska, and just a little wagon going across the scenery. Good encounters with Indians, Pawnees. Danger all around. Danger from cutthroats, bandits, people who are going to rape you or kill you. Yeah, I liked it. There's not an awful lot happens, I guess. It's not an exciting Western. It's one of these ones that are stoked in realism. Not as fine as Unforgiven, but it's got a realism. It's about normal people, just normal church-loving folk, really. That's what there was in the West mostly, rather than Jesse James and all that. And just some people who kind of want to mind their own business, really. I liked it. I liked it for that aspect. It's the kind of thing that I do like a lot. It's got some very surprising twists in it. I think it's well directed. It's a nice addition. It will be an addition to my Western shelf next to Melquiades Estrada. It's 2 thrones for the Homesman. The Homesman. And yeah, that's it. That's all I've got to say. That's all I have to say about that. Next up, God, it's snackering when you're not drunk. Next up is a film that I saw on Friday, and I liked it so much that I saw it today in HMV for only £5 and bought it straight away, because this has got rewatch value. This film, if you can't see it, it's called Coherence. And whoa, that's a misnomer of a title, or a misleading title. It's all about this group of friends who are kind of they're kind of middle class Californian or Los Angelinos, and they get together for a dinner party, and they're all very middle class, and they're all you're watching and going, "Oh, these people could get on my nerves a little bit." One of them is Nicholas Brendan from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Xander from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so it's good to see him back. And he's not annoying. He can't be annoying. He's good. And so it starts with them in the house. There are about 8 of them, and it's got this very intimate kind of, like you're one of the guests really at the dinner party. Kind of nice editing between conversations, and you get the feel, and it's one of those. It's a chatty piece. And then they start talking about the comet that's going overhead, very, very close to Earth, and saying, sometimes strange things happen when comets go past. Strange things do happen. Yeah, it would be pretty boring if it didn't, wouldn't it? If they didn't. And yeah, really strange things happen. To do with, if you've ever heard of Schrodinger's cat, what's in the box? Until you open the box, you don't know what's in the box. All events could happen. It's about some sort of, I won't say too much, but about alternate realities. And it gets really, really fun. There's quite a lot of sci-fi noodling going on, but the basic concept is pretty simple. And what they do with the concept, instead of getting all crappy about it, or just slowing the film down, it's just a fun ride. You're always having to work out lots and lots of things, really, but not in an annoying way, just in a fun ride kind of a way. Yeah, I'll be easy on that one because I don't want to spoil anything. But definitely watch it. It's a 2-throner. It's a 2-throner straight off the bat. It's already joined the ranks. It's already a buyer. Really, really good fun. Interesting. Good sci-fi stuff. I like a good bit of sci-fi. Very cheaply made. They're all in one room. Nothing to make. But you don't need a lot of massive special effects if you've got a good concept and you hold to that concept. Develop it and have fun with it, and that is exactly what happens in Coherence. So, watch that. Watch it. The last one, oh yeah. It is a film that I watched last night while I was stuck indoors. My friends were out having a party and stuff. I was stuck indoors worried about a heart attack, so I watched Human Traffic. It's the last great film in the 90s. And what can you say? I put it on because, and I just thought, I'll watch this first in the evening. It will just be kind of, not throwaway, but, I don't need to pay too much attention to it. But I really did pay loads of attention to it. It's still bloody good. There are loads of cheesy bits in it, loads of pieces of script. The initial speeches, like introducing everyone, is quite cringy. But then you get into the scenes that are really, really just good fun. And they're kind of iconic scenes. And there's all the ecstasy stuff. It made me have a little tear in my eye and gave me goosebumps. Just thinking back to the days, not that I was doing drugs, no. But just back to the clubbing days and the joy of just having a load of fun with your mates. Danny Dyer, in this, he became a parody of a man, didn't he? I don't watch EastEnders, apparently he's quite good in that. But he became this Pratt sort of gangster guy. But in this, he's just excellent still. It's such a funny character. Do you know what I mean? It's really, really good fun. John Simm's excellent. It's just the iconic scenes. There are so many. Some of them are cheesy, as I say, but some of them are great. Talking about Star Wars. Oh, just in the club, talking about all the stupid stuff that people talk about when they're off their faces. But it's such good fun. It is the classic. It is the last great film in the 90s. What's really fun as well, it's 1999 and nobody's got a mobile phone. The latest thing is having a mobile handset in your house. I just love that shit. It's not that long ago, and nobody's got the internet either. But that's it. Human Traffic finishes us off. I said, nice one, brother!